Okay, so for my final video from my trip to Japan is when I went to the Universal Studios Japan, located in Osaka. Now obviously this video was shot before COVID. It was shot last year in July. Anyway, first up we visited the Harry Potter world, and I believe it was my favorite place to visit at the park because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Such a beautiful location. It actually felt like I was in the whole magical wizarding world. Except, you know, what ruined it for me was the tourists. Now we entered this little blue store. And it was just filled with Harry Potter merch. The store was filled with stuff like sweaters, t-shirts, books, that bloody fluffy book that tries to eat Harry Potter in what do you call it? I think the Prisoner of Azkaban or something. Cloaks, and then there was a whole room just dedicated to wands from different characters. And the wands were just stacked on the shelves, just stacks and just stacks of wands. There was Harry Potter section, there was Dumbledore section, Voldemort section. Kids high-fiving wands. It's a magical place. Here's some ones right now. Oh, there's the castle from the one shop. Some more weird stuff around the shop. Oh, there's me. Hello. Hello, me. Oh, I look so sad. Castle from outside. You know that castle? It's just a ride. God, terrible, terrible ride. Hated it. Got so sick afterwards. Now we headed towards the castle, and inside the castle was another store, another gift shop type of deal. You know, wands, bloody the owl, Hedwig, fucking puppets and shit, keychains, puzzles, pens, that bloody phoenix thing, Dumbledore's phoenix, pillows, cushions, people everywhere. And it was just stuff up there, like part of design and stuff. I don't know, man. Cheese, I love cheese. We wander around a bit more in the store just to see if there's any difference, to compare it with the other stores and stuff. Afterwards we left, we wandered around the Harry Potter world a bit for a little bit longer, exploring other stores and stuff. The buildings look amazing from outside, but inside it was pretty, like, I wouldn't say not retro. It kind of had that vintage feel, but obviously it's somewhat not outdated, updated. Oh, there it is, that book I was talking about just before. Figures, more t-shirt, more clothing, cups and mugs. It's like each store has its own style. Beautiful. Each style of inventory. Like they'll have t-shirts, but they won't have similar t-shirts. Like they won't have identical copies of the same product type of thing. They'll have their own like little twist in, little own flavor of stuff. I love the train bit, but you know, it doesn't work. And I believe this was a candy store. Another candy store, but it just was a different style, different variant. They had just different types of candies, lollies, chocolates. It actually was pretty nice layout, nice design store, and nice designed store. We ended up leaving Harry Potter World and decided to explore the other attractions at the park, such as the what character was it? I think Ron Weasley's dad's damn car. Then we ended up in some weird cult Stonehenge thing. That was fun. I reckon the park will be way better like if you come in like as soon as they're open around that time. That's my opinion. Because we came in like a little bit later, like around about 10ish, 11ish. We ended up exploring different types of restaurants, cafes and stuff. Because inside like this mall type of structure, there was more like a food court. And there's Jurassic Park, or the Jurassic Park attraction. Nice little mist stuff. Apparently there were supposed to be like dinosaurs in the bushes or some shit. Didn't see anything though. And here is the dino restaurant. Basically, it's a giant food court with a replica of a Tyrannosaurus Rex's skeleton. Came here and we had a short little break. We ended up lining up for one of the rides at the Harry Potter World. Yeah, we came back to it. It's pretty great, especially the whole transition from the line to the ride. Well, after this point, the ride began. The ride was terrible. And never again. So then after that, we just wandered around. We felt too sick to go on any other rides, so we checked out the other attractions. Other musical numbers, dancing, little bloody plays, whatever you call them. I had fun at Universal Studios Japan, so must see for anyone who's going to Osaka, Japan. I had fun in Japan. Visited a lot of different places. Amazing, truly beautiful places. Had a lot of delicious food. I got to see the Japanese culture up close and personal. And I learned a little too much about my friend Juan. Now for my thoughts and feels. I highly recommend going to the Universal Studios Japan. I reckon it'll be a better experience compared to like going to the ones in America. I think it's located in Florida or something. The customer service was excellent. The theme park attractions like animatronics, setups, displays were amazing. What else? It was just a truly wonderful experience, especially if you're a theme parks and stuff and attractions like that. Like if you're a fan of Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, etc., like whatever there is at that park, you should definitely go. You could get like awesome merchandise, like souvenirs for yourself or for loved ones. And yeah, it's 100% worth it. Now, overall, what would I change? Change how I did the trip, how I went to Japan. Well, first things first is I'll properly study the language. Like if I were you, I would learn basic Japanese words, how to form basic Japanese sentences, just to get by. 2 would be not to stay in one place and then branch out. And what I mean by that is, I wouldn't stay in a city for too long, maybe 2 to 3 days max, and then plan well and research what you want to do on the trip. What I'll do next time is stay in like, for example, Tokyo, stay there for 2 to 3 days, explore the city, explore the surrounding cities and stuff, then head like maybe down to Osaka, explore the other cities and stuff, like Nara, like Kobe for example, and then move on to like Kyoto, explore that cities and stuff. And you know what, just keep on moving and not stay in one place. You get more of an adventure and you get to see more, and at the same time I think it'll be much more of a wonderful trip. 3 would be to bring my like a proper camera, like a DSLR or something. A phone is fine, but because the thing is you're using the phone also for getting around, for GPSing and stuff, so it'd be great to bring like an extra camera, or bring a camera that's just dedicated to taking photos and videos. That's one thing I do actually regret, is not bringing my DSLR along, because I would have been able to record beautiful footage, marvelous footage, just nice, beautiful quality. Now, the way I got around Japan was, well, how we got around was my friend and my mate used like an like a SIM card that's a prepaid SIM card that's meant for traveling to like Japan and stuff. We used that to get around and stuff, and man, it was useful. Without it, we would have easily gone lost and stuff. And lastly would be to plan the trip well. Make a map, make a list of all the places you want to hit, on what days you want to hit, at what times you want to hit. Be very, what's the word, accurate, be very acute, be very strict with your plan, but at the same time allow for flexibility, because you never know, maybe a day or 2 into the trip you might want to do something else you haven't even seen before. And always give yourself time to allow yourself to interact with the local culture, kind of get off the main touristy areas, maybe go somewhere like it's not really touristy, but you can still get that real cultural hit. One thing I really want to do for next time is to take to rent a car. Now, the public transport is great, both train, buses, they're just amazing. I could get anywhere so easily, because train stations where I was like, the nearest one was like 5-10 minute walk away from me. Anyway, back to my original thought. I want to next time rent a car, because I reckon for me it'd be like a much more interactive experience, much more of an immersive experience, because you kind of get that feeling of adventure. You're basically going out on, like, I wouldn't say you're like completely alone, you're fighting the elements, but you're like, there's much more freedom. With the trains, you're like, well, you're limited to trains, which isn't a bad thing. But with the car, you're able to change where you want to go. You're able to stop in more places. For example, it's not straight from Tokyo to Osaka, for example. It's like Tokyo, oh look, Mount Fuji, Mount, Catfish, whatever. Like, there's much more flexibility in a car, especially when you're traveling. However, renting a car is really expensive. It's about, I think, 2,000 Australian. If you're under 30, it's 2,000 Australian, and I'm like, what the hell? Especially renting out a small little, like a hatchback or compact vehicle. It's just so much. It really surprised me. However, if you're a first timer or a second timer, and you're traveling in a train and traveling on a bus is completely fine. Because with tram and bus, you kind of have that the less chances of getting lost, and the more
tailored experience to what you want to see and what you want to do. I recommend Japan to anyone who's interested. It's a pretty good trip, relaxing. There wasn't too much stress with the language barrier. Kind of used my hand motions, try to get my try to get around. Understanding basic words will definitely help. And yeah, I highly recommend going to Japan for anyone. It's a great trip for anyone who's like really nervous at traveling, because even the public transport has a mixture of it's both in Japanese and in English, so you can easily get around. Most people are friendly and patient up to a point. And here's my final thought, my final feel, my final tip is that sometimes in a main touristy strip of stores, an item may be $100, for example, a kimono. But however, if you explore deeper, like go off the main path, you might find the same fucking kimono for like 75% off for like $25. I am thinking about going back to Japan after COVID's over and dealt with, so I could more of a exploration trip than like a touristy trip. Like I want to really get in there, drive, and explore Japan and explore its like other popular destinations. Yeah, just go, bro. Just do it. Please subscribe. Check out my Patreon. I'll probably upload like raw footage up there for anyone who's interested. Thanks for watching. The link to Patreon is down below in the description box. So, see ya.